We're on? You hit live?
Coming at you live from DNHQ in beautiful South Pasadena, California. This is the Blue Heaven Podcast. What is going on, Dodgers Nation? My name is Clint. You can find me as Real FRG on Twitter and Instagram. The FRG stands for Fat Ryan Gosling. I didn't come up with the name. A friend of mine came up with the name, and he's no longer with us. He's in Washington now.
And I'm Fat Tim LaCastro. What's going on, guys? My name is Brooke. You can find me on... You can find me somewhere. My voice just kind of scared me there for a second. You can
Welcome
find me
to
at
puberty,
Brooke3 on Twitter and Instagram. Yeah, it happens to the best of us at 28 or however old I am. We also have with us today a very special guest. You guys know him, you love him, you appreciate him. You thought he was dead, but he's not. Mr. Gary Lee back in the house. Gary Cam.
Hello, everyone. It's nice to be back.
We have him nicely socially distant across the office as best we can. We're all trying to vaccine and do stuff. Oh, wait, hold on. You can see yourself. You just got to look the other way, then it'll be awkward, yeah. What? Anyways,
got it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. We appreciate you guys digging into the comments or diving into the comments. That's fun. Today we're going to talk about David Price, potentially in the bullpen. Some things dropped today. I guess that's sort of the biggest story of the day. We're going to build our perfect bullpen because we know everything about your Los Angeles Dodgers, maybe not. We wonder who should start on opening day. There's kind of two opening days, so we'll dig into that a little bit. Prospects, surprises, maybe a little bit of disappointment so far. Hashtag it's still early. Yeah. Two giveaways, I guess, because Brooks going to try to do one all on his own.
We're doing a live giveaway today, boys. It's getting weird.
And a whole lot more. But first, grab the shirt.
Oh, yeah.
We want to remind you that we are sponsored by Manscaped. If you care about your testes satchel in a way that we do, if you care about your Dodger dog and two foul balls, because that was one of my favorite things I came up with, you can use our promo code BlueHeaven, all one word, and save 20% off at manscaped.com. You're supporting your balls and you're supporting us. How did you say it last time? You had a good one for me, Gary. He's out. Gary's too professional. He's big leaguing us right now.
His bosses are watching.
It's been a while since he's had fun. He's been trapped in a garage. But again, 20% off at Manscaped. Use that promo code BlueHeaven. We'd really appreciate it. Brooke will wear this shirt if you do it and dance for you.
Yep. If that's what you want out of me in life, I will do that. Guys, don't forget, this is a live stream. We are live in the flesh. Gary is here. We're having a good time. It's Monday, March something. Hey, so make sure you guys drop into the comments. Let us know where you're repping Dodgers Nation tonight. We want to talk to you. Gary wants to hear from you guys. Gary said he misses you guys, and he's got to hear some familiar names as we go through these.
Sure.
So
Choice, Leslie.
Yeah, we got some
Roach
friends.
is there. It's been a while.
did you know Choice Fielder has a name?
Yeah.
I just found that out
it's
today.
legally Choice Fielder.
Yesterday. 2 days ago? Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Max.
He has a name?
It's Max.
His name's Max.
No.
He has a human American people
I thought his
name.
name was going to be like Chase.
Chase Choice?
You know, like Choice, close to Choice.
Well,
but...
like Will Loves Dodgers is actually John.
No, is it really?
Yeah.
The internet's a lie. Everything's a scam.
You're all a bunch of burners, and we love you for it. Anthony's in the stream saying LMAO. Now I see the Ryan Gosling thing, and I can't unsee it. Hey, girl, you're welcome. That's how I used to open every single podcast with "Hey, girl."
I was gonna say you haven't explained that one in a little bit, and I've kind of.
Welcome to episode 182.
Yeah,
that's where you learned about us.
I think it was like episode 30 that you last explained that. So it's been a hot minute, but now everybody knows. We know what's going on.
Fredo's in the stream saying we're springing forward. Season previews are happening. It must be time for Dodgers baseball. Yes, I think we should probably do our official. I mean, we're doing season previews either way. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
we pull these shows out of our ass at the final minute every single day because why not? Tim's in the stream. Thanks for hanging out with us, Tim. Tim will be a secret guest later on in the show. Angelo.
Juice Nero's over on YouTube says, Gary, I love you. That was it. That's all he really had to say about that is
love you,
Gary,
Juice.
I love you. That's cool.
Yeah, they've got Gary Cam.
Gary Cam.
Angelo says, give the ball to the GOAT, Clayton Kershaw. We'll get to that a little bit later in the show. Let's just jump right into it. The shocking news of the day, if we want to call it shocking news, David Price, your boy, is allegedly, reportedly open. I retired the reportedly segment, by the way. He's open to relieving. He's open to doing whatever it takes to win the sports baseball games. I don't have a spot to put my beer. We really need that thing back, don't we? That was an interesting. Don't gift that, guys.
Manscaped.
But Dave Price's friend Dave Roberts today revealed that Price is open. Apparently, the team and he have discussed the possibility of any role. As the resident old guy here, Gary, we'll get your opinion on old people pitching in different roles. But first, let's hear from our friend, Mr. Dave Roberts.
I can pitch him. I can see him pitching in any role that we have for him. And David, being the pro and the teammate that he is, also voiced that whatever role that we see is best for the Dodgers in 2021, that's what he wants to do. So that's just a credit to him. But our job still is to build him up, for whatever potentially could happen and continue to give us some options.
Give me some thoughts on it, Brook Me 3.
Well, I would just like to point out, this is just another Blue Heaven exclusive. This is something that we talked about the moment that they signed Trevor Bauer. I mean, I see people taking credit for it online. This is not really something that was never a thought. It's not like some genius plan that we came up with, but it made sense. You're looking at a guy who hasn't pitched in over a year. I think we're just now hitting his 1 year mark of pitching in an actual game. He hasn't thrown a meaningful pitch since 2019, which is, and it just so happened it was against the Dodgers, or no, 2019. 18 was the dude. Years are weird, man. Anyways, all of that aside, you look at how it's progressing. You look at how he's taken the entire year off. You don't know how people are ever going to come back from. I think the comparison that we saw from Plunk was basically like it's almost like Tommy John. Like you took an entire year off of not really doing anything, and then you progress back to throwing. So how do you come back from that?
But with Tommy John, you're at least you're there at the ballpark every day. You're throwing.
Focused.
You're doing baseball activities. Even
but he's just gone.
Yeah, you're gone. You're literally texting the team from home. And I guess Gary, this is the perfect opportunity. You've been away from us now for a while. Now you're coming back in. How does it feel coming back in here for an episode? Here's your starting episode.
It feels kind of weird. Like I got put into a new seat. And then
I know I rearranged a lot in here.
I'm cornered. I don't feel like I fit in, But as the show goes on, I'm starting to feel at home because you feel the cadence, you feel the rhythm. You're gonna feel like, oh, okay, it's old times again. So I think Price is gonna go through the same thing. It's been how many years? 2 years? A year and a half?
Well, he's been a Dodger for just over a year.
Yeah, I remember.
And he threw he appeared in 2 spring training games last year. He threw like only 4 innings. His last time throwing a meaningful professional game was September 2019 with the Bo Sox. Yeah. So it's been a while since he's done the baseball thing, but still now he's doing it with a new team. All that kind of stuff.
I mean, the juices are going to flow. I mean, I'll tell you this. Recent personal experience, I haven't done anything competitive for at least 10 years, right? And then I went to go pick up a pickleball paddle, and damn, it came back. And I was feeling super competitive. Tore every muscle I had, trying to reach for everything. So I'm sure he's going to come back very competitive.
I remember you trying to play basketball for that brief period in the before the world shut down.
Oh.
And, his Achilles were shot for a while. So you're the original AD.
Yeah, pretty much.
We call you OAD.
I know.
The O is for old.
Yeah.
Old.
But he'll be back. I mean, you just see him.
Hold on, wait. Dave's back. I didn't unpush the button.
He said, hey.
Yeah, he'll be
He wanted
to
to insert himself into the conversation and let you know that he is
Dave's
very
like,
passionate
I
about
like
it.
pickleball.
Dave doesn't like pickleball. But, I mean, you look at it, it makes sense. I saw somebody pointed out today, honestly, it might have been Choice Fielder. I don't remember who did it on Twitter today because I always forget who I'm reading things from. But somebody had said, like, hey, a lot of his postseason appearances have come out of the bullpen. And I think he's made more postseason appearances out of the bullpen than regular season appearances out of the bullpen.
I think it was Snyder.
There you go. That makes sense.
Jeff
But,
Snyder.
I mean, if you're looking at him as a extended kind of arm of the rotation, which very well could be the way it's stacking up, the way that Dave is kind of explaining it the past couple of days is like, look, like when we get to the season, there's no reason to have people built up to 100 pitches. It doesn't make any sense. We're coming off a 60-game season. We don't need that. We can piggyback guys. We have guys that can throw 3 innings, 4 innings, and then guys who can throw 3-4 innings behind them, and then you have your relievers. So it doesn't make sense to not use that.
A big thing to always take into consideration with this is that the opening day roster, all that, it's all symbolic BS. It does not matter. What should matter is who's on the roster and who's performing at the end of the season in October. That's when it matters. That's when things are important. So if David Price even doesn't open the season on the active roster, which he will, but if he's not in the rotation officially, then it will be fine. He will survive. He's a big boy. He's earned his accolades. He's not going to cry about it. He'll do what the team, and I believe he will do what the team asks of him.
Yeah, I mean, just the fact that beforehand he was even like, look, I'll do whatever it takes. Like, it doesn't matter. I just want to be a part of the team. That's something that you usually see from like a rookie who's really trying to crack the roster.
Yeah.
Like, that's something that you would see from like a guy who's like just that close to taking that next step. But this is a guy who's established himself in the big leagues, has won awards, has won World Series. He's been one of the best pitchers in the game at one point or another. This is a guy who's like, look, this is a talented roster. There's a lot of good names on this. There's a lot of young electric arms. Wherever you need me, put me in there, and I'll do it. And that's huge.
And here's him saying it in his own human people words.
I mean, one, just being able to identify, how much talent we have on this team from our starters, and the young guys, especially with Gonzo and D-May and Julio, those guys are, they're next level. So, as soon as, I guess right before we signed Trevor, I reached out to Andrew and said, if it happens, I'm willing to do whatever you guys need me to do. That's not a problem for me. So just keep me in the loop and let me know, and I'll be ready for whatever.
So he's saying the right things, which you would hope. And like you were saying, there are some really, really killer arms that need to be pitching in games. Gonsolin, Dustin May, Julio's going to get his real first shot at starting for a whole season.
So there's two sides to this question. The question is, were you surprised to see him throwing 94 miles an hour after a year off of not really throwing a baseball at all? I mean, obviously he had the offseason, but is that from the standpoint of, yeah, I mean, he had a whole season to get healthy and get himself right? Or alternatively, is it like he wasn't doing anything? How the hell did he build up to 94 miles an hour without doing anything?
Hey, you know how it is. Whenever you do that, do something athletic or active for the first time in a while, the parts feel a lot better. So you're going to come out just chucking it, and then things are probably going to hurt, and you're going to see that velo dip.
Yeah, I mean, the fact.
You can talk to Kenley about that.
Let's say, Gary, you're old. Why don't you just keep going? You're going to be the resident old guy on the show.
It's fine.
It's part of
I've been
hazing.
working on my golf swing. I get it. Like when you get back to it, you're like, you got good form, and then all the bad habits come because of injuries. And that's what's going to happen with David, I think.
Yeah, I mean, at that age, if you're that's another part of the bullpen picture too. People are talking about like, I get it. Like if he's not a part of the starting rotation, then something must have gone awry. I understand that thought process, but also the fact that he is the age that he is, and you kind of have to accept the age and the fact on top of that, he has a history of injuries. He has a history of injuries that are really detrimental to pitchers, specifically with the wrist and everything. He's had a lot of really bad stuff happen to him where it's like, oh, he might not pitch again, but he's here. He's throwing 94. If you start him in the bullpen, that takes a little bit more of the pressure off of him. It lets him build up more throughout the year. You don't have to rush him into the starting rotation, and I think that's what they're doing right now. I think they're at a point where they're like, look, there is no need to rush you in. You've taken a year off. There is absolutely a runway for you to get back to the rotation, but if you want to get a slow start to it and ramp up, then you'll be good. Alternatively, he also said that he was going to be built up as a starter, so there's that.
I would rather have him start the final 15 games, or his final outings be 15 games to end the season than to start the season. And I'm seeing a no.
No, if you think about this, him being cool with being in the bullpen, that relieves D-May and Gonzo from having to be in the bullpen the way Dave Roberts used him in the postseason last year.
It does it does feel a lot like Price is sort of throwing himself onto the sword here in a way where he realizes, hey, I'm the older guy. I don't want to block these dudes. These dudes are probably maybe better than me at this point in our careers. Give them that clear opportunity.
He's your dream veteran, I think. It is a dream veteran move.
He is. Yeah.
What you're doing right now. Even last year, he contributed and called them and gave them tips and everything. I think David Price he's a really amazing person. I never really thought about that, because he was wearing other jerseys. But now you see it, you're like, man, these are the little things that you always ask for in a veteran.
You got that little bit with him sort of one-on-one in spring training last year when you were out there for that brief window of real life.
Tiny window.
Yeah.
And I remember you talking about it. You sensed that, like, this is a good dude.
Yeah.
He took your question and, like, really didn't want to give you a fake, quick answer. He wanted to think on it.
Right.
And
I mean, the dude comes over, has no
Cerebral
prior
dude.
experience with
Yes.
the team, has no real relationship with anybody on the team aside from, Joe Kelly, Mookie Betts. He doesn't really have a relationship with anybody, comes over, eventually decides that he's not going to play this season, but before that decides like, hey, there's a lot of minor leaguers that are going to be screwed this offseason, that are not going to get paid, that are going to have to work Postmates jobs or drive Uber, that normally they would have this entire season to build up and work towards what they want to be their career, but they're not going to have that. So here's what I can do. There's 200 of you. I can give you all $1,000. Like, here it is. That's all. That's kind of all. I mean, that's huge. Like, you got all these guys who are such, and not to put anything else on the other guys, but no one's done that. No one on the team has done that for us before. Obviously, there's everybody contributes in their own way, but to me, that was like the first true sign, because I didn't know much about David Price before he came over. I've watched him. I've admired from far. I remember 2013 or so when he was involved in all the rumors for the Dodgers, and he was kind of always in the talk. It's come to LA, and it just never really happened. But I mean, the dude is just you said it, like he's the dream veteran. Like he is the guy that brings the experience. He brings the professionalism. He can mentor young guys, but also he is willing to put aside his own ego for the betterment of the team. And that's what it sounds like that he wants to do, because when he's talking to the media today, it was like hey, like whatever you guys, like whatever's needed, I don't care. Like you can do whatever you want, whatever you need me to do, I'm going to do it. So
Is he the next stepdad? I mean, there was Chase, Freeze.
yeah, I mean, he kind of is, just because he is the old guy.
He's definitely the rotation or the pitching staff stepdad.
Yeah.
No,
There,
that's
boom,
great.
Make your shirt, boys.
There we go.
And gals.
Eddie?
Max, our boy Max, Mr. Choice Fielder, asked a question earlier. I wanted to fit it in here. I'll phrase it better as a question. But Choice Fielder says if DP's in the pen for an extended period of time, that means he's pitching. Well, he says putting, but he's pitching poorly. Gary knows, and I know all about putting poorly. Gary's friend Brooke knows about
I'm a poor
golf
putter. Yep.
poorly. It could have just avoided all
Just
of
bad
that.
golf.
Yeah, it was. Didn't need any of that. Hey, future me, cut that part out. What's the better move here for David Price in 2021? Should he be in the bullpen? Is it better for him to be in the rotation? Is it better for the team
5, 6,
to
7.
be?
That's where I want him at. 5, 6, 7.
Not you don't want him closing, so you don't have to see your boy Kenley.
I mean, I think we have closing's gonna get figured out. I don't think he's a closer, but 5, 6, 7, he sets it up nicely. You got Gonzo and D-May. Urias has to be a starter. I know everybody wants him to close because of what happened in the World Series. But dude has worked too hard to become a starter. I just want him to be a starter so badly, and let him choose whether or not he wants to be a closer or not. But I just think let Dave Price own that 5, 6, 7 like a Josh Hader role. Oh man, I would love that. That's just my dream. But I don't know if he has enough innings in him for the entire year to play that role.
Yeah, that's another thing that goes along with it. But in my mind, I think it's irresponsible of them to not take advantage of the fact that they have 7 starters. So for me, it's
8 with JoJo Gray.
Exactly. I mean, you look at the number of guys that they have, it just makes sense for them to kind of get rid of, almost in a sense, that traditional starting 5 rule and transform it into a kind of a hybrid where you're maybe 3-4 guys who are going to be built up pretty quickly and going to be able to start like traditional starters, and kind of treat that last position or last 2 spots in the rotation as a flex role where you're going to piggyback starters on certain days and then go to bullpen days on other days. And I think that's what they're going to do. I think that there's no way Dave Roberts doesn't pivot in that direction, at least in the early part of the season, to make sure that guys get the proper ramp up, they get the proper build up to 100 pitches as a starter or whatever it might be. It just makes too much sense to not do that. And in that sense, you almost still do view him as a starter. It's just a starter that's coming in after another starter. And that's kind of it. So
the good thing is that no one's going to be guessing on their roles. No one's going to get a surprise phone call at midnight and say, hey, you're starting tomorrow. That's the benefit for having resources like this. And then giving them that stability. Last year, I can see Dave Roberts going, man, what do I get from D-May? What do I get from Gonzo?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a Gonsolin. I mean, we've talked about that's how Gonsolin got not physically hurt, but during the game, that's how he got burned, is by not knowing what he was supposed to be preparing for.
It was unfair for him.
Because he's going into the playoffs, and it's like, oh, yeah, by the way, like, you're going to come out of the bullpen today. It's like, what the hell? Dude, and so rough for him, like, I had a lot of friends turn on him during the postseason, and we are both very high on Tony Gonsolin, and I think you're very high on Tony Gonsolin too. But I think we all understood that, like, hey, he was not put in a position to succeed. He was put in a position to eat innings, to eat up starts, and he did it very, very well during the regular season. But when he was not prepared for it, you could tell. And he got hit, and he got burned, especially in the postseason. So I think if you're giving him, not just him, but like as you're saying, the entire rotation, if you're giving them that consistency and knowing what to expect, I think you're going to get the best out of everybody. And Dustin May included in that, because he's a guy where I'm like, I don't know where you fit in long term.
Yeah.
No, I mean, do you guys? I don't know if you guys talked about this. I don't watch every show.
Me neither.
No, I was thinking like
that was Garrett.
Bauer was just to buy D-May and Gonsolin 2 more years. Oh, and JoJo 2 more years. Like that's how I feel about Bauer's signing.
In a way, yes. I think it was more so to make sure you have that bona fide top 3 guys to make it through the playoffs. Dodgers didn't need Trevor Bauer for the regular season, not even slightly. They probably didn't need him for the postseason, but you can get somebody like Trevor Bauer, plug him in. Dude absolutely shoved in his one start against the Bravos last year. You want that. You want that guy that you could maybe mix in his 3. And guess what? If any of the top 3 guys in the postseason happen to falter, you got Gonsolin, you got D-May, you got probably JoJo Gray by then. There's a bounty of bodies that you could plug in that are going to really kick some ass.
Historically speaking, you look at like three-headed monsters in a starting rotation, and that's what wins you playoff series. That's what gets you through to the World Series eventually. And the Dodgers have never had a three-headed monster, in at least in a very, very long time, right? Especially in recent history. Like you can look at guys and be like, yeah, they had really good pitchers on their staff, what have you, but they've never gone into a playoff series where it's like day 1, 2, and 3 are going to be very difficult. Day 4 might be a little easier, but then we got to start back over again with day 1. And that's something that I look forward to this year. That's something where I'm like, day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are all going to be very difficult for you, and probably 6 and 7 if we have to go that far.
I just don't want to experience that Braves playoff series ever again. And it's just give me the rotation that avoids that,
Well, they're going to be built, or the rest. They're going to play more teams. It's not just going to be stuck with the crappy Western division of teams, where everybody
where you could just go on cruise control and just kind of hang out until you have to run into a real team like the Braves, and that's kind of what the Dodgers did.
Yeah, they
like
really,
all year.
They really got punched in the teeth when they went to go face the Braves, because it's like, oh crap, these dudes know how to win.
This is a real baseball team.
The Padres were good last year, but they didn't know how to win.
They were good. They were good. They did not have that experience. They did not act like they've been there before.
Yeah, they're not the ones that woke us up. It was the Braves that woke us up. Yeah.
I mean, they ignited. The Padres ignited in that September
got something
series.
Going,
yeah. And Bats Mookie, I think it was Justin Turner was talking about that. They did ignite them in that series, but the change of facing a team like the Braves.
But we've heard it before. Like a series doesn't start unless the other team wins on the other person's field, right? Or something like that. Padres never won.
Made up.
So it was never a series with the Padres, but the Braves one's for real.
That's what Alana said about that. She's like, we ran through them in the playoffs. You want to call them a rival?
Yeah. I love all this this rivalry talk. We're going from one hard question to another. Rivalry week. This really probably isn't as tough of a question as it should be, but we asked it on our social media earlier, and it was all around. I'm wondering about what you guys think. And Gary, I'm going to defer to you first about just the meaning of an opening day starter. There are 2 big opening days each year. This year are probably the 2 are bigger than any. You have your regular opening day on April 1st. I swear it's not a joke, but we're going to be in Colorado, and then there's the home opener. 8 days later. Yep. In LA, where there's going to be a ring ceremony. The team is coming off of winning a World Series. There's going to be fans in the stands for the first time in a season plus since Howie Kendrick took Joe Kelly deep. So that's a lot to it, man. That's definitely a lot to it. But we'll go to the poll side of it first. Dodger fans are all in on Kershaw starting opening day. 61, almost 62% so far are voting Kershaw as the opening day starter. Probably should have expanded a little bit more to take in that opening, the home opener. I mean, he could, in theory, they could stretch him out. It's also Kershaw. He finds a way to not start opening days because he old. But What's your guys' take? What is that meaning to you? Like which is the more important one for the Dodgers and fans this year?
Symbolically, Kershaw needs to start opening day at Dodger Stadium.
The home opener. Yeah.
The home opener, yeah. Opening day. I don't even want to put anybody in anybody's significant opening day in Colorado.
Let's say, and we defer. Also, we want to get the fan input here, guys. In the comments, go ahead and give us your thoughts. Who you think should start opening day? Why? And hopefully we read. Yeah. We get caught up in things going on, but
I mean, even if the home opener was at Dodger Stadium, it has to be Kersh.
Well, the home opener will be at Dodger Stadium because that's a home opener.
I'm sorry.
It's opening day.
Opening day if opening day was at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
It should be Kersh.
Mm-hmm.
The home opener should be Kersh.
Mm-hmm.
It just should be Kersh if it's that, because he's the guy who's worked the longest for the World Series. You know, he deserves that, and Buehler will have his time, I think. You know, and I think it's just from a standpoint of the Dodgers showing their young players, this is what you get. This is how we treat you if you work hard and persevere.
Mm-hmm.
And become the player we need you to become, you know? So that's basically my way, is like, you got to treat the people who've earned it right so that the others who follow will respect that.
So the comments here are all going off on Kershaw for the home opener. Jim is saying that the home opener or the opening day in Denver might be delayed for a few days with snow. We'll see how that kind of plays out. You hope not, because that really sucks and puts the season behind the 8-ball. But in my opinion, in my view, the Dodgers are in a fantastic position here, because it's about time to pass the mantle off on the opening day starts. Kershaw was supposed to get it last year. He didn't get it because his back was owie. So it went to D-May. D-May hasn't earned that yet. He just got pressed into it. Walker Buehler has earned these kind of starts. We've seen Walker Buehler have his moments of excelling at Coors Field. It makes sense to do that. It's the best of both worlds if you start Walker Buehler as the home or as the opening day guy, because he's earned that, and Kershaw's has earned his home opener where he gets the rings. It's the team that his team, he's been trying to do this for 13 seasons or what have you. They finally got over that hump. There's going to be rings. Everybody's going to be happy. There's going to be fans in stands. That's pretty killer. It makes a lot of sense to me to go that route. Back to you in the studio.
That's good. I like that. That's very good. I mean, listen, Walker Buehler is the future. I understand that, and I get where you're coming from. Kershaw is not dead. He is not even necessarily on a downward spiral in his career. I think last year definitely showed that. It did to me sound like, though, Clayton Kershaw would prefer to start the home opener this year over opening day if he had the decision between the two. Not necessarily that he would have the decision between the two, but if he were given, it sounded like he was like, yeah, I'll take that home opener, dude. That'd be pretty sick. I'll take that. So maybe the Dodgers line it up to where Kershaw pitches the third day in Colorado and then ends up pitching because I think that's how it would line up in terms of pitching. I did think it was really weird. They go from Colorado to Oakland. Really threw me for a loop. Was not expecting to see Oakland as the second team we play during the season, but it is a hella weird year. Whatever.
Nobody hates us.
Yeah, it's very odd. I didn't expect to see that. We got to go to one of the worst ballparks in the country after playing in Colorado, but that's fine.
Bit of a weirdie.
But I mean, to me, it really did sound like Walker or Kershaw wanted to pitch the home opener, and honestly, it makes way more sense. You talk about playing in Colorado, you're going to get to play in front of their fans. It sounds like if there's no snow. And it sounds like they're going to have like 12,000 people there or whatever their capacity is going to be at for Coors Field. That's cool. It's a great experience and all that, but there's just so much meaning behind being able to come home, play potentially in front of fans, have them welcome you back as a World Series champion after all that hard work, all those years. And it's not like Kershaw's riding a streak of opening days where you're like,
yeah, he lost that.
You're going to break it. It's like, well, you haven't pitched the last two because injuries both times. So why not? You already hold the record for franchise opening day starts. You're not breaking any other records except your own by opening up one more. Realistically, I think that he does get the home opener start. I did have a conversation earlier about how if you were to start all 7 of your starters
Yes, he did
in a row, that would line up for Kershaw to get the opening day start and the home opener start, which everybody would be pitching off.
Dave, don't be a coward.
Everybody would be pitching off a little extra rest, and so it's good for your starting pitchers, right? It makes sense. It doesn't really make sense, but a boy can dream.
Tim Rogers said that if Kershaw starts the home opener, he won't get to participate.
Yeah, I was going to point that out. I don't think Kershaw really cares about that. Like,
I don't think so either.
he got the satisfaction that he wanted. He got that monkey off his back. He's now a happy boy, and we saw it all offseason. I'll tell you, happy Kershaw is a fun Kershaw. Dude put in some work on interviews all offseason, and you can see the difference. But getting the accolades, having the spotlight on him, he doesn't like that. He would rather be able to just tune out all the other stuff. I would imagine. This is my interpretation of Clayton Kershaw. He'd rather tune it all out and just go out there and do what he does best, and that's pitch gems at Dodger Stadium on an opening day or night, whatever it's going to be.
Tony Crenshaw.
Long live Tony Crenshaw. Anyways, moving on. We got a giveaway, I think. Did you pick a winner?
Oh yeah, I picked a winner. Come on.
I feel like you're lying.
No, I haven't. I just realized it's on my phone and I didn't write it down.
Guys, we are announcing the winner of that wonderful Tom Lasorda autographed baseball with our friends at Elite Sports Collectibles, who unfortunately lost their Instagram account again. So things will be on hold with them for a little bit while we figure things out. It really sucks that, they're out here just trying to have some fun, get people, I don't know. Give people stuff.
Yeah.
A different way of winning some stuff. But we have a winner for this Tom Lasorda baseball. Who's the winner?
Thank you so much. You can give me a drum roll. You're not going to
the soundboard went off.
Oh my God! No drum roll. The winner of this fine Tom Lasorda baseball, perfect autograph. Look at that autograph there. It's so perfect. Arturo Arroyo, you are the winner. You get to keep this. You get to put it in your office or in your home or give it to your friend or do whatever you want with it because it's none of my business and it's no longer ours. It never was ours, actually, courtesy of Elite Sports Collectibles. Thank you guys for that. We'll send you a DM on your Instagram. You have 48 hours to respond or else Gary gets to eat it or something.
Live on camera.
Yep. Good way to
I'll eat it with Lasorda wine.
Roach says, I am Arturo.
I am Arturo. And now we are doing a live giveaway. This is something that we've never done on the show before. So if you are new to the show, this is going to feel like something that we do all the time, but don't get used to it. We're not going to keep doing this because I don't like talking to anybody. But we're doing a live giveaway today. Today's winner will get this World Series DVD narrated by the one, the only Vincent Scully.
You got to bring it closer so.
Yeah, Gary.
Just throw it to Gary.
Good job influencing.
Here.
We'll also throw in a couple there you
stickers.
Go. Take the stickers too. A couple Blue Heaven stickers.
Yeah,
because
now you can put it in
to...
front of your camera.
Oh,
it's beautiful. I'm so glad I switched.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, you
That's
guys,
good.
you've seen the DVD.
There, yeah.
And then
Yeah, cast off stickers.
You have to put those stickers on your phone case or computer or something that can be seen at all times. It's part of our advertising program.
Shout out to our friends at AM570 for hooking it up with that DVD. Go follow them on Instagram at AM570 LA Sports, I think is the full handle. Follow them.
So if you want to know how to win, listen up, chumps. I need you in the chat. The first person to tell me what high school Justin Turner attended will win this DVD.
I'm looking at the chat.
I will be watching the chat. It will show up in order. It is fair. We cannot control the order of the. We can block you. Actually, that's true. That's
Mando,
the point.
we just told you the rules.
Well, they're a little bit behind. Yeah, they're a little behind.
Sorry.
Yeah, but there's the rules.
My bad.
That's how you win. We won't really wait for it. We'll kind of wait for it.
And subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Also subscribe to our YouTube channel because
all of this is going to be cut out on the podcast.
because
anyways,
that will be there.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Fullerton.
Do
Come on,
we
guys.
have a winner?
Come on, guys. He didn't go to Fullerton High School.
Arcadia. No,
Oh
Arcadia.
my gosh. Wow. Well, somebody almost got it, and then somebody did get it.
Who?
Oh no, wait. Yeah.
where?
They're going fast.
Oh God. It's
Hold on, I'm up
boring.
here.
The answer is Mayfair High School.
Yeah,
it's been said already.
It's
And I
Kobe and
believe-
Gigi forever.
Yeah.
That was
GG.
Kobe and Gigi Forever.
Hey, that's a damn good name.
Kobe and Gigi Forever. Send us a DM on Twitter if you can.
DM him. That's at BrookMe3.
You can also DM me at BrookMe3. That might be easier. I'll make sure to hook it up. We'll get that out to you. Thanks for playing, guys. Maybe we'll do this more often if we get more stuff to give away. That's fun to give away because it gets you guys engaged. Ta-da! Now you have a soundboard. Son of a bitch.
FCC.
Sorry, Grandma.
Won't let me be me, so let me see. They're trying to shut me down on Dodgers Nation.
.com.
All right, boys, and everybody and ladies, everybody in the stream here. Dodgers have a bullpen. There's a lot of arms that could go in that bullpen, but not enough spots. I kind of wanted to build out the perfect bullpen for the 2021 season. Dave Roberts today all but said that Victor Gonzalez is a fixture in that bullpen. He's the prime go-to left-handed reliever. Very much
No more
earned that.
Scotty. Oh, sorry.
He also gave some praise to Scotty Alexander because he does want a second left-hander. But
David Price.
He's
I got this figured out, Dave. This is not hard.
he's just really pushing for one, so he's just naming random left-handed pitchers now.
yeah, pretty
He's
much.
like Scott Alexander, Adam Kolarek.
So how many? Let's see. I don't have anything to write on. We probably should have been more prepared for this section, but
Yeah, you only wrote 8 words.
that's all we need. We know things. Oh,
Paper.
I know this pen and pad. I bought these many moons ago.
Well, what had happened was
I didn't even push that button, but it did it. All right, we know Kenley Jansen is going to be in the bullpen.
Oh, my camera's on?
I'm
Damn it.
sorry, Gary. Kenley
I didn't know my
Jansen.
camera was on.
But I guess I'll run down the names because why not? This is the best way to do it because this is we're just coming up with this on the fly. Garrett Clevenger, is he going to be in the Dodgers bullpen on opening day?
I don't think he'll be there on opening day.
Oh, good call. Survey says. Sure, that works. This is going well. You guys having fun?
Yeah.
Tony Gonsolin, where is he going to be on opening
Tony
day?
Gonsolin will be in the bullpen.
Whew.
Yeah, but not like permanent. Like,
Are you
this
sure?
Is what
Are
I
you
mean.
sure he's-
starting pitchers and those guys, they're going to rotate in and out. It's going to be a constant revolving door of guys in the 4th and 5th position in and out of the rotation. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. It's not a real bullpen role. It's a hybrid role.
What happens though if they want to keep them stretched out? They're not going to need both May and Gonsolin.
They're going to be Dustin May, David Price.
Does one of them stay?
Tony Gonsolin
Does one
are
of them
all
stay
going
at
to be.
extended
They're all
camp?
going to be in a hybrid role.
But does one of them stay at extended camp?
No,
No. Well,
they're all going to be in a hybrid role.
I think
okay?
I think Gonsolin probably gets screwed
Don't
over
you
because he's
dare.
the nicest
He does
one
get
of them.
screwed over a lot. Yeah.
We already know Victor Gonzalez is going to be on the board. Bruzdar, do you think he makes it back in time? Dave said that he seems to be on schedule to make it back for opening day.
He's a one-inning guy. He's good.
One
He's
inning
fine.
guy. Bruzdar
David Price
Gratterall
is already built up to 1 inning. Bruzdar can do
Bazooka
it.
is in the bullpen. Kenley Jansen, is he in the bullpen?
Yeah, he's there.
According to his Instagram, yes.
Joe Kelly, do you think he makes it back in time?
I do not think that Joe Kelly makes it back in time for opening day.
Because apparently, what was it? It's an ominous update.
It's an ominous update. Yeah. There's a
From
lot
Dave
going
Roberts,
on with him. I don't know what's happening.
His body just
They
has
don't
been falling
specify
apart.
with him specifically. They do not specify injuries, and that always makes me weary of a pitcher because I'm like, there's something going on with you, and I don't know what it is. There was an illness apparently that took him out of camp. I don't know if he had like the stomach flu. I mean, he's so cowboy, so he probably ate a bad burrito in Arizona. Probably went to the greasy spot. The greasy.
Filiberto's.
Filiberto's.
Oh,
Yeah. He probably went to Filiberto's and got messed up.
it's the best restaurant in the world.
Chompies.
At me, Chompies. Oh, I miss Chompies. They gave us
Chompies was good.
so
I
much.
miss Norm. Is his name Norm?
Sure.
His name is Norm.
Yeah.
Corey Knable.
Bullpen guy. Yep.
He's gonna be on the
Big time bullpen boy.
Dustin May.
Big time hybrid boy.
I don't know how to spell hybrid.
H-I.
David Price.
Period.
Where is David Price gonna open the season?
Big time hybrid boy.
Oh, so who's your opening day rotation then? Who's
There
your
is
five
no
men?
opening day rotation.
But the symbolicism. I think that's a word.
I think
right?
Julio is in the rotation. Let me put it that way. I think Julio is in the rotation.
Yes.
I think he's one of the guys who's not in the hybrid role,
Okay.
which is interesting because I do think that he is
Every
a better
fan was
reliever.
asking
than me
for it this
personally.
year,
Yeah, but that's okay.
Eddie says that Joe Kelly is probably cooking again. He's doing
Jambalaya or
yeah, you
gumbo
hear
or
that
whatever he's
story?
making?
Gary?
No, I didn't hear about that story.
He like hurt himself cooking jambalaya or gumbo. Not
Didn't he like
jumbo.
throw it his back or something?
Yeah,
like that?
yeah.
He was doing like a
they don't
boil pot.
You know, the thing is, it can get heavy because when you put a lot of crab meat in there, then you got to stir.
They
does
don't
take
build
a lot.
them. They do not build them Riverside boys very sturdy.
No, we're put together by a lot of styrofoam.
Yeah, you are
and-
frail as shit. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. My arm hurts all the time.
Like whenever I see this guy once a week, and every time it's like crack, crack, pop. You hear noises that the body of a 28-year-old should
Yeah.
not be making.
They put weird stuff in the water out in the Dino.
Gary doesn't
out in the
remember
river.
28,
Shout out
so
to the Dino.
Blake Trinan,
Like trying to bullpen boy.
I'm curious.
Big bullpen boy.
He's had a pretty good spring so far. Dennis Santana, what do you think?
Yeah, damn, man. Dennis is a dude that is really pushing the conversation.
He's a guy that's a dude so far.
And he is a guy who I did not anticipate at all pushing the conversation.
Notably, he was very good in spring training last year as well.
He was, and that
in the
seems,
short amount of time that
you
it was a
gotta
thing.
kind of take spring training with a grain of salt, because especially these younger guys, you got to remember they're getting into games at a time when starters are not in games anymore, and that's something that is really hard to kind of quantify and kind of hard to relate to, because you get a starting lineup that's taken out, and suddenly it's just minor leaguers facing minor leaguers, and good minor leaguers versus bad minor leaguers are always going to dominate.
Cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria.
Exactly, it's really rough, guys. So you got to be able to quantify that. Right now, he passes the eye test, as you like to say. He does pass the eye test in his stuff and his delivery and his off-speed stuff. His off-speed stuff looked good, man, and his off-speed stuff has not looked good in a while. So I can't say that he's going to crack the roster.
Yeah, Tyson says Dennis Santana is bad. Spring trading doesn't mean anything.
Tyson,
Where's Santana
Dennis
rank?
Santana married his sister, so that's why
Oh.
Tyson is. I don't know why he has a thing for Dennis Santana specifically.
Where's Santana ranked on our prospect list?
He's off.
He's off now.
He has enough service time to not be a prospect. So as of right now, you could, I guess, officially call him a 4A guy. Like he's not AAA. He's going to be back and forth. Probably
Freeman's gonna
doesn't.
have to start trading.
He does not. Yeah, we've hit a point where there's a lot of
still
dudes.
very much think that a pretty decent sized trade happens before opening day, and I'm still holding on to that, because I think that he's using this time as a runway to build a lot of these guys' reputations, and it seems that way based on the playing time given to people during 6-7 inning games. That's my personal opinion. I don't know what's going to happen. I can't even guess there.
You think this Alex Vesia boy is doing anything to make a real I don't know how to say it, impact?
I do not think that he makes the opening day roster. I think that he does show up at some point this year. I don't think he makes the opening day roster, not by a long shot.
Now, the real question is,
Uh-huh.
where the hell is Mitch White?
Oh, he still hasn't. He still hasn't. Yeah, I mean, Dave said he's started his throwing progression, but it was very vague about it.
Oh, that's right.
Was very vague about it.
He's one of the guys who's hurt. He was hurt along with old glass Joe Kelly.
Yep.
Glass jawed Joe Kelly. That, like, if you grab the puzzle, that's literally how Joe Kelly's body is put together. Thank you to our friends over at Sully's Brand for sending us a Joe Kelly
Sending us
puzzle.
Joe Kelly.
He's sending us Joe Kelly in the flesh.
Vesia looks good. I like his stuff, but I think he's got a lot to work on. But I think he could make an impact at some point this season. It's
right.
a long season, boys and girls. It's a long season, especially after only playing 60 games.
Well,
Isn't there that other kid, Pepio?
well, he's not on the roster. I don't think any of those guys. Anybody
gonna
not
make
on
it?
the 40 man. I can't see.
I can't
it
see them
happening.
cracking it, but they're very exciting. A lot of these guys are super exciting to watch. I mean, Bobby Miller looks sharp.
Segue. Spring training rookie standouts and sort of disappointments. We'll have some fun with this. We are not the prospect experts. If you want that, go to Tim. Check out Dodgers2080.com. He's doing prospect stuff all spring training long, because this is basically his postseason right now. They are all in your face, and everybody is seeing their names every single day. What do you like so far about some of these prospect dudes?
I didn't know what the direction you were going to go with that for a second. You kind of made me a little bit nervous. But look, man, the Dodgers have – Dave Roberts has said specifically he needs a right-handed bat in the lineup. He needs a right-handed bat off of the bench. I do not think that DJ Peters fits the defensive mold that they need, but he does fit the offensive mold of what they mean. He's a big strikeout guy. It's gonna be something that he's gonna have to work on long term. It's gonna be something that's not gonna fit with the Dodgers long term if he doesn't fix it. But the dude has some serious freaking power, and he's hitting against major league pitching. When he's in the game, he's hitting against actual major league pitching. He's not coming in the 6th, 7th, 8th inning and hitting against 17-year-old kids from the Dominican or something like that. He is actually hitting real guys who are ready to play baseball this year at the big league level. Love what I've seen out of him. The dude can crush. I think he has a real shot at making the opening day roster, depending on roster size and all that. It sounds like it's going to be normal. I don't know if that's true.
The new normal, 26.
The new normal. I don't know if that's true or not. I would imagine that they would want to expand it, and that would be helpful for them, but you just never know how things are going to play out. If anything, I think he's going to be like a taxi squad kind of guy that's always going to be around. The dude is a big freaking bat. And he's athletic.
Like he's a big man.
Dude is showing
was
out
moving
so
around the outfield, man, and he's fast. Like he's got some speed for his size.
I was next to him last year. Went next to the batting cage, and he walked out of the batting cage and just walked next to me, and it felt like he looks like who's the latest Superman? That guy who played the last Superman in Justice League. Whatever.
Yeah, Henry Cavill.
Batman.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
And he's just huge, right?
Yeah, he's a thick.
But you're
fellow.
pulling for him. He's huge. He has a big bat. I think they need him just to eat up all the ice cream they ordered for Jock. So
It's
they're
true.
gonna need that.
He can eat it, and he cut his hair, and I think he's gotten better since he cut his hair. You're a big dude too, and he dwarfs you.
Oh yeah,
He's a big
I
guy.
like standing next to him because I feel skinny.
Yeah,
I'm like,
And you're looking up to him.
Yeah.
He's a big
monster.
boy.
Yeah.
That was my. By the way, I mean, granted, this is we're still in spring training, but my pre-spring training pick to click with my bold prediction. I think we did it in the show with Snyder. It was after Jeff Snyder was here, but I'm all in on DJ Peters, man. I think your boy Deej he makes his debut and he has a good year this year.
he could also alternatively be a guy that they are showcasing to trade. And I think that's a real conversation that needs to be had because he is number one showing out and in a big way, almost like he never has before because he's making pretty consistent contact. He's taking good swings at balls. He's playing good defense in the outfield. I think right now his trade value has never been higher, considering that he was able to kind of cut down his strikeout rate a little bit in the ensuing years from after he struck out like 195 times or something like that. So I think this is a really good time to trade him if you are indeed going to trade him because after this year, it's one of those things where it's like, hey, you're too old to be a prospect, man. You've been around way too long.
Paul Vaughn is asking, like, what do you trade DJ Peters for? And then who do you include him with?
Baseball
Like,
players.
you give Keibert, DJ,
Yeah, it depends on
Santana.
what you're trying to do.
Right.
The Dodgers
like,
don't
give the Pirates.
They don't have an obvious hole anywhere.
They don't need
There's not a
anything.
need.
Yeah.
They can upgrade things.
Another
they can
prospect?
upgrade. I think the biggest area that they can upgrade is a real life bullpen arm and not a Mod Podge thrown together bullpen that they have. And it's a good one. And I'm not arguing that at all, but I'm saying they could get a real life reliever that is a dominant reliever, which they have not had in a very long time, like a guy who you would go out and trade a bunch of top prospects for. Not necessarily that that's available at this point in the season. That's not often available at this point in the season, but you look at guys in contract years, it might be a conversation worth having. Alternatively, Andrew Friedman is very good at trading older prospects for younger prospects. A lot of
older
younger
players
prospects.
like Kenley. Throw him in there.
If you can find
Take
a way to
Kenley.
trade Kenley Jansen, then you should be a GM because
The
no
only
one's
way
taking
that's
that contract.
happening is if you turn off fair trades. That's
Yeah,
not happening. Kenley's not going anywhere.
It's a good way to play.
AJ Pollock is not going anywhere. Those dudes you're stuck with. I'm fine with AJ. Like Pollock has been, he's fine. He's going to get his lion's share of time in the outfield most likely this year. I wanted to throw to a nice excerpt from our friends Mr. Tim Rogers and our boy Doug McKain, who you guys see all over our YouTube channel. If you haven't already, please do subscribe, hit that notification bell. You'll be glad you did. But they did talk about prospects. Tim is, of course, our Dodgers Nation's resident prospects expert, and of the many prospects that they discussed as standing out so far this spring in the year or the week that it's been, week plus. This is what they had to say about your boy Deej.
For the Dodgers, he's the hometown hero. He's from Glendora, California, DJ Peters. So Peters so far this spring, he's 3 for 6 with a home run, 2 ribbies, 3 walks so far. In 2019, he had 241, had 11 home runs in Double-A action. We know he's got the power, but can he consistently hit big league pitching? It's a very athletic guy, but the only question is, can he become a more consistent hitter? Now, Tim, do you think that DJ Peters could be a power right-handed bat coming off the bench for the Dodgers this season?
I like him. He's an athlete. Yeah, he's a big dude, and he does take some big cuts and some big whiffs. But if you watch him, I mean, the guy can play any outfield position and play it well. He can run. He can't. It's just a matter of more bat to ball contact. But he's a guy that can come in. To be honest, I'd probably rather have him in left field at the end of the game than Pollock. And Pollock's not too bad. He's had his issues, it seems like, but I think he's gotten better. But Peters is, he is relatively fast, you see him make some plays out there, and he can play center. And who knows? They're slow rolling Cody. Maybe that gives Peters a little more of a chance to get started. I do see him finally making his debut, so Glendora will be happy that happens, and so will I. He's a guy that you root for, and from all indications, he's a really good dude.
Glendora represent DJ Peters in the house.
Stand up.
Good stuff from Doug and Tim there, by the way.
That's a good point, too. I mean, Cody Bellinger is still a little bit behind. I don't know when he's going to get into a game. They keep saying the middle of the month is when he's going to get into a game, but we've seen no indication of that. We've seen him apparently taking swings, but who knows, man? And I don't know if you guys can remember all the way back to last spring. I know it seems like a lifetime ago, but he was toying with the swing after an MVP year, which we did not understand. I still don't. To this day, still don't understand it. But he was toying with the swing. Never really got back to that normal swing. Never really looked like his MVP self, as we predicted would happen. And so I think when you're looking at that, and he's already behind not being in games and things like that, and he's gonna probably toy with that swing a little bit more. He's going to adjust to shoulder surgery because you're different no matter what happens.
That's a big thing.
No matter what happens.
We really haven't talked about enough is I guess they say it wasn't as major of a shoulder operation as we've seen from people in the past, like Adrian Gonzalez had that problem. It sapped away his power from the end of his Padres tenure, going to Boston and eventually in LA. He started to kind of regain it, but that's a lot. When you're talking about that labrum, that the part like in the back of your shoulder that really helps pull the bat through.
Yep.
On the other hand, though, they keep saying that Cody's swing doesn't. It's not really. He doesn't use that much. He doesn't have like the high one-arm follow-through. He follows through with 2 hands. He'll be able to protect himself a little bit more. It wasn't fully torn or damaged or anything like that. They just did it so it didn't get any worse. But yeah, there's a whole lot of jury out on Cody Bellinger in 2021. I don't think he's going to AAA.
He's not that wishy-washy.
It's also odd year, Cody,
odd
which
year
is
belly.
a good thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Remember Roy? MVP
2021
could win a Cy Young this year. LFG, baby, let's go.
That's our left-handed reliever. We found him, Cody Bellinger, left-handed reliever. You can not brook it.
A few of the people here, I posed the question also, like people that are standing out, the prospects that are standing out so far in spring training. We're getting the Bobby Miller a lot. Bobby Miller has looked really good. Looked good again today. By the way, shout out Julio Urias on Monday. People people get mad at me when I don't say it right.
Yeah, I know.
Julio, dude, 4 pitches. He got out of the first inning in like 13 seconds.
Yeah, and I mean that all goes back to I think Dave Roberts has been saying it for the past 2 years.
Us Mexicans get things done.
That's true. That's true. Congrats to your gente.
Good job.
I mean, Dave Roberts has been saying it for the last 2 years, where he's like, "Hey, Julio has got to attack the zone. He cannot work around him. His stuff is too good to not be going right after guys." And that's what he did today. People were like, "Well, the White Sox had a lot of first pitch swings, things like that." I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, he was going right after him. He challenged him. He challenged, by the way." A lineup that I think is going to be the best offense in baseball in 2021, and he went right after them, and he did not back down, and he got through the first 2 innings so fast. So fast that I think the first 2 defensive innings were shorter than the first offensive inning for the Dodgers, which is wild to me against the White Sox.
They threw like 6 pitches in 2 innings. It was wonderful.
Wild.
My boy Alex over on the Twitter is talking about Zach McKinstry, who we're going to see a lot of in 2021. He's definitely showing out so far early in spring training. I know, Gary, you're not able to watch many games, but you're here and you hear the chatter. You hear the McKinstry talk.
Yeah. The new Kike.
People get mad whenever you do that Kike comp, though. Not you. Just when that's done, then it's like,
generally,
they're
yeah.
different people.
Yeah.
We get it.
Yeah, I knew that.
Baseball.
But utility player, we just need that. You know, it's somebody to. I mean, Lux Insurance.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
You know, one guy we'll never get to see in the big leagues. I'll say it now. Is this Outman kid? He's kind of like
The dude is showing up, man.
he's 2021 Cody Thomas.
He's
man.
taking some. I know. Every year we have something like that. Every year somebody shows up where it's like they're showing up, and we're probably never going to see them again in their entire lives. I don't think that he's. I mean, you know, it's tough. You never really want to write anybody off, especially when they're performing like he has. But the kid looks good. I really hope that he can get an opportunity. I don't think that it's with the Dodgers, but I really hope that he can get an opportunity somewhere because he looks good, man. He's taking good hacks. He's got that smooth left-handed swing. He looks like he knows what he's doing, and that's not something that you get from minor leaguers all the time, man.
Package him up in your trade.
Put him with DJ Peters. Call it a day.
Another one. Actually, you know, I want to flip it on the other side because this is the type of question that usually will get us in trouble. Somebody will take this and run with it, and hopefully we get proven wrong. But who's your guy that is kind of not doing what you hoped? It's sort of a bust, but not really. Again, very short sample size. Gary, yes, we know Gary's a bust. We'll give you that. But yeah, who's your sort of disappointment in the very early goings of spring training?
It's always tough to say this early on. I think that there was I would have liked to have seen more from Walker Buehler in his first couple starts. I think his first one looked pretty sharp coming off of it. The second one, I don't know what he was doing. I don't know what specifically was happening. I don't know if he was reverting for the fastball a lot. I don't know what pitch he was going with. I don't know what it was, but he just felt off to me. He felt like he wasn't there. He felt like he was missing his spots. There was a lot of things about it that made me a little bit nervous. But I mean, people talk about it all the time. His first couple, first week or so of spring training. Yeah. I'm not worried about it yet. If he's doing this, opening day, might be a little more worried about it than I am now, but that's the good thing about this time. We don't have to worry about it too much. Nothing really hurts us too bad.
This is sort of for Walker.
Do you guys like players who aren't ready for the beginning of the season?
I mean, you kind of have to. You really don't have a choice, especially when it comes to Walker Buehler. He's never ready for opening day.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
Does he care?
He's changed. He's changed his attack plan. He changed the way he came into this.
He's way more ahead than he has been in the past.
Yeah, usually right now he'd be barely throwing the soft squishy balls against the wall. Like now way ahead of schedule for where he usually is.
Yeah.
I'm sure like on the Sunday start where he kind of tanked. I think he was probably working on something. Usually when that happens, he's probably working on a particular pitch. Things just weren't quite working out for him.
Michael Busch, another guy that I've kind of been expecting more out of and hoping for more out of, hasn't looked particularly sharp considering that he's only got real time against minor league pitching. That's a dude that I think is going to rake long term, but right now has not looked great.
He had one really, really pretty swing.
One really pretty swing, and that to me was the flash of like that's what he's supposed to be, and that's what I think he will be one day, but he's not quite there yet. And Tim's told me several times like, yeah, I mean he's just not ready, and I'm like, yeah, good point. He's not ready. He will be there one day, and when he is there one day, that'll make for a really interesting conversation because he's not that far off.
Yeah,
and you got guys long term that are at second base, got guys long term all over the field. It's gonna be a really interesting conversation to see what happens over the next couple of years with so many good dudes coming through the system, and Tim knows all of them. A lot of really good guys coming up through the system and a lot to be excited about.
So I have one more. I have one that I'm disappointed in early and one more that's absolutely showing out. The disappointed, and I've seen a few in here. Dodger Hogs, our friend Dodger Hogs popped in saying it right now at the same time I'm about to. Sheldon Noisy's not, again, early, small sample size, not cutting it for me. I'm wondering if he's trying too hard to make an impression. I mean, immediately the kid is hearing these Max Muncy comps.
Yep.
And It's probably too much to put on. You don't want to ever have to go into camp and make an impression, but hear like, oh, here's the guy who did this. Why can't you just do this? But it looks like the game is a little fast for him right now. I'm sure he'll put it together. Definitely won't be an opening day guy, but yeah, he's on my disappointment list. You know who's killing it? Straight up showing out. Your boy Matt Beatty. Killing it, dude. He's like, I think he's batting 500, but he's putting, you're never going to see premium defense out of Matt Beatty, but
He's putting the ball in play.
he is putting the ball in play. All over the field. He's striping the ball, and he's not even locked in yet.
No, he's not.
And he has nowhere to play.
He really doesn't. That's
He doesn't even have a roster spot.
That's
to
the
be
worst
real.
part about it.
Sucks.
Is like you look at Matt Beatty, and it's basically like, you going to bat Edwin Rios, you going to bat Matt Beatty, and you're like, well, what do we got? What are we working with here? They tried to get him some time in the outfield.
He's not a right fielder.
He's not a right fielder. I get that.
no.
Maybe he's a left fielder. Maybe he is a left fielder. Maybe it's a.
He was
anybody who's played
serviceable.
baseball knows that left field's a little bit easier than right field.
Not for me.
He's
I'm slow.
serviceable. Serviceable.
Yeah.
He can get it done. I
Not
don't
like
know that he
Mookie
necessarily
Betts
wanted to.
serviceable. That's
Right.
a different kind of
It's
serviceable.
different level. But man, that dude can hit. We've known for a very long time that Matt Beatty can hit. I hope that he gets a consistent chance somewhere. I wish it was with the Dodgers. I don't know that it'll be with the Dodgers ever. I hope he gets a consistent chance though, because that dude can be very good.
Gun to your head, you going Rios or Beatty on the roster?
Gun in my head, I'm going Matt Beatty because I know Matt Beatty. And that's my real life justification for why I picked Matt Beatty.
He's a nice boy.
I like Matt Beatty a lot.
Yeah, he's a good dude. I mean, we know Eddie a little bit too.
We know Eddie a little
yeah.
bit, but not nearly as much. We don't know Eddie's wife. We haven't gotten to know his, everything about him or anything like that. So it's really tough for me to be like, oh yeah, automatically.
I mean, Eddie's
Rios.
wife is pretty cool.
Yeah, Lacey's
that's pretty
good
cool.
people.
Lacey's cool.
She ended up with a box full of them Rios.
Just in case.
Flash the shirt, Gary, real quick. Pull your Babe Rios shirt, not available on GearUp.la.
Babe Ryu, not Rios.
Whatever. Oh, that's the one.
That's a
They all
different one, yeah.
they all
That's
look
another
the
one.
same.
Yeah. iPad app? Yep, there you go.
They all sound the same.
Anyways, I love baseball. Baseball's cool. We get
Baseball
to be
been
here
very
talking
good to
about
me.
it. Yes. Gary, thanks for coming out and talking baseball with us again. Hope you
Thanks
had
for
some fun.
inviting me. This is the first time this year.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear you died.
I know.
Yeah.
I was glad to come back, though.
It's
me
like,
too.
ooh, I have a job now. Ooh.
I know. Sorry, I'm going to leave you guys.
You guys like my Gary impression?
That sounded just like him.
Until then,
Hope
you
to see
can find
everybody else later,
you
but-
guys can find more of us on the internet. We're all over it, especially DodgersNation.com. Subscribe to Blue Heaven on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, Pandora, Stitcher, everywhere you can get your podcast noises for free. We live there. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/DodgersNation TV. We're there. Doug McKain is there. You'll probably see, hopefully, a lot more of Tim this season. We'll do things like that, but it's always fun doing stuff and things.
It is always fun doing stuff and things. Guys, I am at Brookme3. This guy over here is at Real FRG. That guy on the couch, that's Gary. He's just
messed
vibing
up,
out
Scott.
there. We're at Dodgers Nation on Twitter, at Official Dodgers Nation on Instagram. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for your questions. Thanks for your comments. Thanks to Manscaped. Go get your balls cleaned up. We love you guys. We'll see you next week.
Another
Bye.
day, another Doug.
Another day, another Doug.